Welcome back, everybody. Def Jam international signee Nasty C has finally given his fans the much-anticipated album titled A Zulu Man with Some Power. His third album features American stars T.I., Ari Lennox, South African talents Tellaman and Rowlene. The offering is the biggest pre-ad for an album in South Africa and globally on Apple Music. The artist joins me now via Skype to share more on his latest project. Nasty C, a very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning, G. How are you?
Good to have you on the show again, man. Thank you so much for joining us. You almost broke the internet with your new album, A Zulu Man with Some Power. Do tell us about this latest album.
I think this has to be my most mature album, my most diverse album, and I'm very proud of it, man. It symbolizes something very important for me. You know, just carrying my culture on my back, and taking it with me as I'm making this global step right now. And, you know, the reception's been amazing, man. Like, yesterday I found out it's the #1. So the album is the #1 album in the world. The intro is the #1 song in the world. Mm-hmm. Track #2 is the second, it's the #2 song in the entire world. And that's crazy. That's crazy for me, man.
It certainly is, man, and what an achievement, what an achievement. And this is perhaps your first big project under Def Jam International. So how was it working under this label?
Labels don't get involved in the creation process that much, man. So nothing changes there. I make my music and then I turn it in and we discuss how we're going to push it forward. You know, what's the narrative? What's the plan? Like, what do we put out first? You know what I mean? That's the only thing that changes. Everything else stays the same with me. I work here at home in my own studio by myself.
Okay. All right. Mm. And I do understand that you also collaborated with American hip-hop producer No ID, and you have a song together, as a matter of fact. And just a couple of years ago, you were just talking about, a culture and how some artists are aggressive about their culture in their work, while others finesse it. Now, you also have a track in Zulu. Is that perhaps what led you, I mean, that conversation you've had with No ID 2 years ago, was that really what led you to start rapping in Zulu?
No, I'd already been doing that, right? I'd already been doing that, like on my Instagram, Facebook. I have a couple songs that I put out years ago that were in Zulu. So no, that's not how that was inspired.
Okay.
But it definitely did inspire the title of the album and pretty much the way I think right now when it comes to I don't know, cultural representation, I guess.
Okay. Okay. And the fact that you still keep your music authentically hip-hop, but rapping in Zulu, some artists really battle with that. How do you do that?
I don't know. I'm a hip-hop head, man. I fell in love with hip-hop before anything else, you know, so I can never switch like that. You know, I'm a hip-hop guy. Okay.
And you work with the likes of T.I. and Ari Lennox on this album. How was that experience for you? And how did you meet and get to discuss a collaboration with them?
So I met T.I. Well, I haven't really met him in person, but I met him like online a year ago. He DM'd me when he was here in South Africa. He told me his name. He told me my name kept popping up, and he heard about me a lot and about like the music and stuff. So he decided to check it out, and then he hit me while he was listening to it. He was like, "Yo, I'm in Cape Town riding around, just listening to your album. I think we should work. I'm inspired by your story." And this was before he even knew that he's responsible for me rapping in the first place. So that was crazy for me. That was like a full circle moment for me, man. And it came purely from him. It was natural. It was organic. It was beautiful, you know. And it's kind of similar with Ari, except she was back where she stays. You know, she heard about me there, and she said we can work anytime. If he has something, send me something. And I had something that was perfect for it anyway, so I just threw it at her, and she ate it up, man. Crazy.
And locally, you worked with the likes of, Tellaman and Rowlene. I mean, you've featured both artists in all your albums. Why so?
Yeah. This is my brother and my sister, man. I've been working with these people since 5 years ago, you know, and we have a common goal. We just have an insane drive that we fail to see, like in a lot of other artists. So whenever we're together, it's effortless. It's like, it's easy. It's light work. You know what I mean? When we're in studio with a lot of artists, sometimes it can get a little bit tricky. Sometimes the synergy is just not right. We're not at the same place mentally. You know what I mean? But me and them, we're always like, we're like siblings, bro. Like we're real life like siblings.
Okay. And just how different is this offering to your very first album, Bad Hair?
This one here is way more mature, man. You can tell I've grown as a person just doing all this traveling, going through all the things I go through in life, the good and the bad. You know, I learned at a young age to transcribe everything that happens to me into songs. So you can imagine the type of stuff I'm speaking about, the relatability. It's different also. Like I'm more relatable now, and I'm more relatable to a more grown-up crowd versus just like your typical fans that just want to listen to like bumpy stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like I have a lot of content and a lot of substance in my music, man. You know what I mean?
And Nasty, you have a documentary out. Just talk us about its origins. Tell us more about that.
That's pretty much me going back to where I came from, right? I do that a lot whenever I'm in Durban, but this time we just decided to take a camera with us. So we capture everything. So people really see where I come from. And I just break down the story of what I really had to go through to make it. Not even to make it at the time, just to peek my head in the game, you know, just so people would recognize me. I had to do a lot of insane stuff, man. Like, and I didn't have it easy at all. So I wanted to take a camera back with me and really show everybody else that thinks this thing comes easy, that no, you have to put in the work. It's okay to fail like 100 times. Go out there and fail 100 times if you have to, though, but don't give up. Like, stay persistent, stay on your grind. You know what I mean? I wanted to show them that type of thing, and of course, that was for motivational purposes for my friends too, because I put them on camera and they're doing amazing things, man. I just had to throw my salutes to them. Like ever since I left Logo, they've been doing some crazy stuff, man. Like really being productive. They stuck together as a unit. They didn't break up. There was no drama within them. And you know how it is back in the Casas. Drama everywhere could break up everybody, you know what I mean?
All right, Nasty, you are doing very well, and you continue to do very well and make us proud in representing the country on the international stage. Thank you so much, man, for chatting to us and just breaking all barriers at such a young age.
I appreciate you, my G. Salute, man. Thank you.
All right, good stuff. That was multi-award-winning rapper and producer Nasty C dropping his highly anticipated studio album Zulu Man with Some Power. Nasty C's popularity detonated with his 2016 debut album Bad Hair, which hit #1 on the iTunes local chart and was the country's most streamed album within 24 hours of release. Now, before we say goodbye to our SABC2 audience, let's take a look at some social media responses. Tries David says, it's a small town and I wish developers can do something about it, but there's a very good private school there called Libode Private School, owned by the Mlandus. People of the area should check it out. That's in response to a small town of choice, which is Libode in the Eastern Cape province. JD Jordan says, good morning, Grootman Sims. And yes, I know this place is not far from where I live, and I know it's not far from Port St. John's. That town is a rich town, friendly people with lots of villages. Thank you, Sims, for choosing Libode as a small town of choice. Unati Dlamini says, good morning, sir. Libode is where I was born. It's it's quite small, but also have more progressive people, the history, the King Yamampondo and Ndamase. The town is small, but more rural areas that depend on this small town. We can't run away with the fact that most of the people in Libode are still suffering, such as Mpindwe need that area cutting edge visited. I'm talking from experience. All right, this is where the show will end on SABC2, but then it does continue on Channel 404. But then let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.